Hi yogis, hi friends, welcome to our practice. I have an empty house today, not even my dogs. My son Ike graduated from Notre Dame this weekend in a master's in education program, congratulations, and had a big family gathering and they're all at the beach and I stayed here for our practice and really looking forward to sitting and grounding and stretching out my body. So come join me. See if you can find a comfy place. And before we get started, I'm solo today, like I just said. Please be sure that your microphones are muted and your videos are stopped so others are not interrupted. I'd really appreciate that. Thanks so much. I'm sitting on the edge of a blanket. My pelvis is up a bit higher. I can feel the slight tilt forward of the pelvic bowl, as if the water was spilling over the front. It's setting the position for our pelvis so the rest of the spine can find its beautiful alignment. Start with your eyes open or closed. When we close our eyes, we block out the visuals, cut down distractions, and take ourselves within. See if you can feel your skeletons today. I sometimes refer to it as the glistening white body double that lives within. We don't see it, we don't want to see it, but it's always with us, our body double. See if you can feel the pelvis in its position. Maybe envision the femurs, the thigh bones releasing towards the earth, so the hips, the ball in the socket releases. Let go of some of the gripping of the musculature. We find our place on the earth, our platform, our launching pad, our stability point, our purpose and place. Back to the mat, back to our practice, back to our breath, back to what we know calms us and unites us. So lucky. Feeling the arch in the low back that's inspired by that slightly tilted pelvis. Bring the awareness to the bottom of the rib cage. Use your hands or just your mind's eye to draw those low ribs in. So the bottom of the rib cage has a little ring around it that holds stability because it's quite mobile. So when we bring our chest tall, it opens. Oh yeah, the upper back. So not accentuating more of a low back curve, but containing that and trying to find the opening through your hearts, through the thoracic spine that's often too rounded on many of us. See if you pull your elbows back a bit, collarbones broaden, the chest muscles start to soften. Release the elbows now toward the hips, and as the elbows and sit bones release to the earth, the crown of the head rises. That amazing feeling of being placed on the earth, but rising out of our rooted, stable base. Maybe in your mind's eye, you can see the back of your skull aligned with your sacrum. Yeah, a little support in our back body. Maybe the earlobes right above the shoulders. The musculature in the neck starts to soften and the weight of the head is just supported on the spinal curves. We don't have to use the muscles to hold so much when things are aligned. Take a moment here. Review your internal architecture. What does it feel like? Where are we starting today physically? Where are you starting today in your mind? Maybe a cluttered mind, maybe lots of post-its, lots of thoughts, lots of monkey mind activity. Maybe it's a calm day for you. Whichever the answer, identify and see what needs to be done. Set an intention for the practice. Invite your breath. We all know this breath is our yogic breath, our conscious breath. It is the thread for our practice. It's the start, middle, and end of the practice. I suggest you inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth, through the pursed lips. Reminding you again, inhaling through the nose warms, hydrates, purifies the air, the prana, the life force as we invite it in. This is a welcoming, this is an invitation only. Breathe in all the freshness, all the oxygenation, all the healing energy. And then slowly breathe out through the pursed lips, hearing and feeling the wind, the exhaust as it leaves your body. It's proof this filtration system of ours is working. Let go of all the things we don't need, all the physiological mental debris, escort it out. Let's sit for a minute as we always do. See yourself seated wherever you are, and maybe all the others that are part of our practice around the world join our thoughts, join our breath, join our energies. Let's sit. Before you open your eyes, take your thumbs, cross them like bird wings. Place them right on the heart center, chakra heart center. Feel our heartbeats inside our chest. Feel the warmth on the outside of the body. Stop for a moment to feel your humanness. We'll blink our eyes open and look at the front of the mat. Bring the gaze back up. We'll extend our arms up, reach up to the heavens. And as our hands reach up, feel the rooting of the sit bones. And somewhere in the center, grounding, lifting is that transition point. See if you can identify that today, this morning. Where is that? Where are things rising and where are things descending? And as we sit and find our breath, perhaps you can feel the same that I can, the fingers reaching higher up, the side body start to open, the rib cage start to release. Let's look up at our thumbs, keep the low ribs engaged and take the thumbs back behind you. More the opening of the upper back, less in the shoulders. Fit your ears between the elbows, touch the palms together, interlace fingers, index fingers to the sky. Steeple hands. See if you can touch the ceiling in your room with your fingertips and into the basement of the house or down into the earth under the house with the sit bones. Long bodies way past what our physical bodies are. Inhale. On your exhale, press your hands together, lower them down very slowly through main central, third eye, tip of the nose, lips, throat. We end on our big hearts, thumbs to the heart, raise the heart, and again find the opening in the back bend, thoracic spine. Spin the hands to the floor, right into the neck we go. Right hand holds the floor, left ear softens. Weight ahead in gravity. Check in with the right side of the neck, probably a little bit of tension and tightness in that upper trap. That's where the breath and the concentration goes to. Softening in. Inhale. On the exhale, take the right ear up towards the sky as if there's a string pulling it up. The right side of the neck musculature will contract. And then when we release, maybe you'll get a little bit more side bend. Inhale the head back up through center. Exhale, opposite side. Left hand will hold the floor. Right ear softens in. Feel the spine start to open and side bend. Create space for the nerves. Inhale. On the exhale, take the left ear up towards the sky. Left side of the neck will contract for a moment, the muscles, and then when we release, ear will soften to shoulder. Beautiful. Inhale the head back up to center. On the exhale, look over the left shoulder. Keep the chin on the horizon line. It's the safety position to find that rotation. Take it around. Carve out the path, maybe some cracks and snaps. Do your yes. So chin up and down a few times, carving out more of the path. Chin comes to rest and maybe a little bit farther. Inhale back through center. Exhale around to the right, smooth sailing. When you get to your barrier, do the chin up and down, shaking the head yes, softening, carving. Back to neutral and maybe a little bit farther. Beautiful. Inhale back through center. Exhale left. Path is mode. Let's go deeper. Inhale. Exhale, right hand holds the floor, chin out towards her two. Left shoulder point, accentuating that stretch, right side of the neck. Inhale back through center, exhale around to the right. Inhale, exhale, chin out towards her two, right shoulder point. Inhale back through center. Exhale, bring the chin down to the jugular notch. You just lower the head, try to keep the upper back out of it. Dock in for a moment. We'll trace our chin now. Inhale, and on the exhale, trace the chin along the line of the right collarbone. Keep it on the collarbone. If it starts to leave, that's where you stop. Otherwise, trace it all the way around. It disappears into the scapula. Inhale back through center, rounding through. Exhale around to the left. Tight chin tuck, mobilizing our cervical spines, the neck. Inhale back through center. On the exhale, reaffirm the press of the fingers and the sit bones. Bring the head up very slowly. Inhale again. On the exhale, push the heart forward, open the upper back, and very, very slowly let the head release back. Start from the middle of your back. See if you can find each one of the vertebrae to share the movement, and the head lowers very slowly into place. Ideally, the stretch is chin to collarbones. No pain allowed in the spine, no dizziness. If so, back off. Inhale the head back up. Neutral position, beautiful. Take your hands L-shaped. Thumbs on the thigh bones. Inhale. Exhale, push the thigh bones down. There is your anchor. From that anchor of the thigh bones, start to rock the pelvis. Again, think of that skeleton inside. The pelvis is moving, but the legs aren't. The sit bones are going to start to come up off the ground as we come into our forward bend. So this is the same movement that we do in standing forward folds, pelvis rocking over those fixed thighs. Keep the chin tucked. Bring the crown of the head towards the front of your mat. Lower the heart towards the floor. And when you feel like you're going to fall forward, take your hands onto the ground for support. Take them out in front a bit. They're down dog, hands, index forward, thumbs towards each other. Spin the elbow creases towards the sky. Inhale. On the exhale, drop the elbows, if possible, to the ground, or maybe a prop, a blanket, or a bolster, something to ground into. And feel that as your elbows release into whatever it is, pull them back towards your knees and lengthen your spine. Feel the curves, the low back and neck matched with their arch. And try to de-round that upper back. Hang out for a moment here. Pay attention to your sensations, feed into it. Find the relaxation component in this. Wonderful. Walk your hands back up. Tall sit position. Beautiful. Switch the cross of your legs now, your oncoming cross. Let's go right back into our forward fold just like we did, just different leg position. L-shaped hands, tops of the thighs. Push down on the thighs. Rock the pelvis. Keep the low ribs in. Keep the chin tucked and lead with the crown of the head. And again, when you feel like you're going to fall forward, take your hands out in front gracefully. With our down dog hands, they start. Spin the elbow creases towards the sky and then release the elbows down. Sit bones are up. Femurs are ground. Nice arch in the back and the neck. See if you can use the isometric pull of the elbows back towards the knees to find some length to the spine. Decompress. All day long, gravity pushing down on us. Let's fight that compression and use our muscles and energetics to continue this lengthening. Wonderful. Walk your hands back up again. Tall set. And we'll take our arms up for cactus arms. Widespread fingers. Open and close the fists a few times. Energize the hands. Shine them open. Big bright headlights. Thumbs go back. We drop the thumbs back. Externally rotating from our ball and socket in the shoulders. Take them forward on the inhale, and on the exhale, we drop them down. Internal rotation, ball and socket. Inhale back up. Exhale, thumbs back. Hitchhiker shoulders. Beautiful. Shine them forward and down. All the body parts getting warmed up, right? Inhale them up. Exhale, fly machine arms, they come together. Palms will face you now. Inhale, and on the exhale, push the sides of the hands and elbows together and slowly start to take it up. It's that isometric press that will strengthen your neck and shoulders. Keep the elbows together as long as you can. When they start to come apart, pause. And then take them apart. Index and middle fingers touch. Widespread palms. Inhale, exhale, draw it down slowly. Do that thick fluid, resetting the whole shoulder. Do it a few times, pressing up and coming around. Snap, crackle, pop maybe. Last one. Up and around. Elbows at the side, turn your light bulbs. Energy hands, pronating, supinating our forearms. Finding the movement in the wrists and the elbows. Queen wave. Try to make it soft. Hallelujah arms up overhead. Back to queen wave. Back to light bulb hands. Go ahead and shake them out for a moment. Feel that open. Let's take our thumbs today, back of the neck. So right at the occiput where your skull meets your neck, the thumbs will dig into that occipital line and draw them very slowly across the back of your skull, and they'll end at the bottom of the mastoid bone under your ear. Do that a few times. You're stimulating craniosacral points. It's part of the relaxation system in the body. One more time. Shifts our focus, changes our whole mood and thought. Beautiful. Take your hands to your ears. Do a nice little pinch on the outside of the ears, all related to auriculotherapy or acupuncture of our ears, correlating to the body. Back up. One more time. Take them down. Grab your earlobes and pull. Give it a nice tug. We'll do our Dumbo ears. Create some space at the temporomandibular joint. Thumbs on the ears and pull them apart. Pull them away from your face. There's a lot of movement here of connective tissues and the energies moving through. Do that a few times. See if you can feel that softening and release by the jaw. Maybe let your jaw slide side to side or up and down. Now take your hands and rub them together. Rub them together, create some heat. Then we'll cup our ears. And cup the ears. Feel the warmth. Then release the hands back down. Sorry to interrupt, but there's a message coming through. I just want to be sure that there's no major problem here.
Paul, can you please mute?
Please mute Paul. Somebody's unmuted, so sorry guys. Somebody, yeah, Paul, if you could mute your video, that would be great. People are getting interrupted. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
He's
So,
still
nice
unmuted.
warm ears here now. Take your hands, root them back to the earth. Fingertips, sit bones, crown of the head, rising. See what this feels like now compared to when we started, right? Beautiful. Let's move into a seated twist. Take your right leg over your left. Fists to the ground, lift, put the sit bones down, hands on the knee, big open heart. Arms come up, inhale. On the exhale, start to turn to the left. Open twist, ribs, 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 ribs. When you've gone as far as you can, see if you can turn your head now and look a little bit more towards that little finger of your left hand. Inhale back through center. Exhale around to the right. Do the same. Look over at that right hand. Inhale back through center. Exhale left. Release the arms now and use the arms as a little bit of an impetus for a push and a pull to create more of that corkscrew. Inhale back through center again. Exhale around to the right. Release the arms and use that as your push. Inhale back through center. Hands down. Lean back. Try to use just the muscles in your legs and hips to switch your legs to your other side. Fists to the ground, lift, put the buns down. Left big toe on the ground, hands on the knee, big open heart. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, right hand turn. Look over at the little finger right hand. Inhale back through center. Exhale left. Inhale back through center. Exhale right. Release the arms. Use the arms to help to unwind a bit more. Beautiful. Inhale back through center. Exhale left. Release. Come around. Come on back to center. Let's take our feet now, put them together. And don't bring them so close into the groin, but a little bit farther out. Take your hands to the toes and open up the toes. It's extending our toes away from all the flexion in our shoes. See if you can keep some awareness of the openness of the feet here and put your thumbs into the arches of your feet and do a little bit of acupressure release on the arches. Corresponds to your spine. Good, let's do the same thing we did with our legs crossed. Inhale, and on your exhale, roll up, pelvis over those fixed thighs, right? You can feel your sit bones come away from the blanket. Try not to lead with your chin, but the crown of the head, and draw the crown of the head towards the front of your mat. Maybe your elbows will land on your legs. You can use that as a little bit of a impetus again for this hood ornament effect. Really long spine, decompressing that low back. Inhale, on your exhale, look over your left shoulder. Inhale back through center and exhale, look over your right shoulder. Inhale back through center and see if you can go a little bit deeper. Maybe the elbows will come onto the shins. No rounding of the back allowed. Keeping the same spinal curves. Trying to find the movement in our hips and our low backs and releasing the tension from our hip muscles. Beautiful. Walk your hands back up again. Nice and easy. Okay, let's come on to all fours. Take your right foot back behind you. Push the toes or the heel back. Feel the bottom of the foot opening, the plantar aspect of the foot. Feel the sensations, crown of the head to the front, heel to the back. Let's inhale as we come onto the toes of the right foot, the tips of the toes, and over onto the top of your foot into plantar flexion of that ankle. Nice. Inhale. Exhale, roll through the foot again and push the heel way back.
Take the right foot forward. Do the same thing with the left. Toes are curled under, heel to the back, crown to the front, back of the knee towards the heavens. Inhale the body weight forward, tips of the toes over onto the top of the foot. Plantar flexion of that left foot now. And then push back, left heel, back of the mat. We'll do our broken toe stretch. Take left knee forward, knees are married, curl the toes under, big toe knuckles inside ankle bones, and go ahead and sit your buns back. See if you can find a place to rest the pelvis on those heels. If this is too much for you, put a blanket underneath your buttocks or maybe a block underneath your knees. Push your hands in onto your thighs, pull your low ribs in, bring your heart really tall, your shoulder blades release down the back. Approximate the middle fingers towards the earth. Maybe you can even touch. See if you can dock in, maybe slide something under or put your hands closer to your feet so you can touch. Fingertips releasing into the ground while the crown comes to the sky, softening the buttocks. Take the hands back behind you now, interlace your fingers, put your thumbs on the arches of your feet and spin the shoulders backwards. Externally rotate. Inhale. On the exhale, keep the elbows straight and take the arms straight back behind you. Opening our thoracic spine and our chest. Pinch the pencil between the shoulder blades, feel that energy. If you're holding in your glutes, try to release. Middle fingers towards the earth again. Let's rise up for a moment, take them up. Interlace the fingers and then turn the palms to the sky. Your thumb and little fingers will create little triangle shapes in your hand. Push them towards the heavens, elbows to the ears, low ribs in, back bend the upper back. Beautiful. Release the hands back to the sides. Take your hands forward. Kick out the feet for a moment. And sit back in your version of Virasana. Use whatever props you might need. If you can comfortably sit your buttocks back on your heels, beautiful. Right hand to the knee, lift and clear the shin. Left hand to the knee, lift and clear the shin. Take the hands back behind you. Put your thumbs onto the little toes or onto the sides of your feet. Pull the elbows in towards each other. The whole chest opens. Start to lean back, maybe a little bit farther. Yeah. Inhale. And on your exhale, pick your pelvis up. Push the front of the pelvis towards the sky and maybe feel that beautiful stretch from your pelvis down to your kneecaps. It's quads and psoas and iliacus, or hip flexors. Watch that you don't overdo the low back, but more of a pelvic thrust movement rather than too much arch in your low back. Beautiful. Let your buns land again back onto the heels, and as soon as they do, launch forward. Keep the thighs together if possible, and the child is released to the ground, decelerating child. Feel all the ribs touching onto the thighs, forehead touching the earth or a prop. As soon as it touches, inhale yourself back up again. Exhale, shoulders come over hips, hands go back behind us, and this time onto the tops of the feet. The shins leave the floor. Shins back down again, launch forward, the decelerating child, keep the hands way back, decelerate down, using our muscles to lower to the earth, not having gravity take you down, forehead touches, inhale back up again, belly pulls in, shoulders over hips, hands back behind you, lean back. Bend your right elbow, look over your right shoulder, we'll mobilize our low backs and extension rotation. Wonderful for the facet joints on our spines. Inhaling back through center. Exhaling, bending left elbow, looking over left shoulder. Inhaling back through center. Launch the child. Feel the grace and ease. It's cat-cow, but we're moving through in a seated place. Touch the forehead to the earth. Inhale back up again. We find ourselves in our tall sit position. Take the knees real wide. Big toes touch, and we'll walk it out. See if you can super arch the low back, keep the sit bones spread over those heels, and start to walk your hands forward. So similar to what we did at the beginning of practice when we were in half lotus, now we're in this child's position. Look at your hands, down doggy hands, Sphinx arms, drop the elbows, drop the forehead. Shift your pelvis right and left, lubricate your hips. If it's pinchy, don't do it. Or come out of such deep flexion. Bring the pelvis back to neutral. Let's inhale our body weight back up through scared cat. Knees come back again and go into a little cat-cow. So you can have your hands forward or directly under. So cat-cow now in the quadruped position. Finding all those beautiful movements. Maybe identifying one or two new spots. Bust out your own move now for a moment. See if you can feed what your body's asking for. Move the hips, move the shoulders, bend the elbows, see what might be right for you. Good, let's bring it all back to neutral. Inhale the body weight forward. We'll lower down for our Cobra. Find that stable platform with your arms and shoulder blades. The blades are adhered onto the rib cage. Start to lower the pelvis towards the earth. Shine the heart through the shoulders. The neck stays in neutral. We're not looking up, neck in neutral. Identify where maybe the stiffness is. If it's pinchy in your low back, put a block underneath your pubic bone. Otherwise, surrender to it and see if, okay, I can find that spot. Bend your elbows now, put your pelvis on the earth. Find that opening, elbows stay close into the body line. Inhale up, scared cat. Take the knees wide, push back wide child. See if it feels a little bit more lubricated and softened this time. Elbows release to the earth, Sphinx arms. Shift your pelvis right and left. Find that opening. Bring it back to neutral. Inhale back up. Let's do some quadruped limb extensions. Strengthen our core. Many of you know this. Take your left knee to the center of the mat. We're going to pull our bellies up, and you're going to raise the egg up into your pelvis, or the elevator comes up into the pelvis for our pelvic floor. Before you lift the right leg, find all those pieces and then straighten out your right leg. Push your heel or mounted the big toe to the back of the room. If you're close to a wall and feeling unstable, if you push your foot into the wall immediately, you stabilize because the whole back muscles get the idea we need to hold. If you're feeling stable enough here without the pelvis changing position, take your left hand up. Reach out with the left fingers and back with the mound of the big toe. Pause for a moment there. If you're a bit wobbly, this is where you stay. If you feel you can tolerate it, take your left hand forward like you're going to shake somebody's hand. You're shifting your center of gravity. Your abdominals have to work now to hold you in place. Hold that. Gracefully glide back to start. Put the left hand down, put the right knee down in the center of the mat, find that deep core, and then take your left leg out. So we move off the stable base. We don't just lift the leg and move everything. Core stable, left foot back. Take the right hand up now. Fingers of the right hand forward, mound of the big toe left, back. If you can tolerate it, take the right hand forward, destabilize. You got to use your core to hold place. And let's switch back and forth a few times. Make it as graceful as possible. Put the hand down, put the left knee down, center of the mat, and go right into right leg back up. Soft neck, left hand up. Rock it forward. Come back to neutral. Inhale. Exhale, put the left elbow on the right knee right under your belly button. Some obliques. Pause for a moment, isometric press. Inhale it back out again. Exhale it together. Right under your belly button, left knee, left elbow, right knee. Straighten it back out again. Let's put the hand down, put the knee down, and go right into left leg. We have such a stable and aware core. Take the right hand up. Reach forward. Pull it back. Inhale. Exhale, right under the belly button, right elbow, left knee, touch, press, isometric press. Take it out. Inhale. And exhale, gather. Right under the belly button, hold and press. and take it out. Beautiful. Put your hands down, put your knee down. Let's do our thoracic spine mobilization. Hands turn in, fingers towards each other. Bend your elbows 45 degrees. Keep the arch in the low back and the arch in the neck. Don't change that. Don't change the elbow position. Try to move just from your mid-back. Inhale. On the exhale, drop your heart towards the earth. Pinch the pencil between the shoulder blades. Feel the mobilization. Oh, yummy, right through that thoracic spine. And then push it back up. So the spinal points in the mid-back go towards the heavens. Release again, no elbow movement. Right through mid-thoracic spine. Back up. And last time, drop through it. Stay down here and shift to the left. So you kind of look over to your left elbow, shift back to center the gaze, and then over to the right. Try not to move the elbow so much. Shift it over again to the left, and shift it over to the right. Oh my goodness, your spine is getting such a beautiful massage. Back to center, push back. Beautiful. Let's find ourselves on our backs now. Start with crazy legs to lubricate our hips and wake up our back muscles even more. Most of you beautiful people know this quite well. Knees together, feet apart, arms out in a T. I'm always happy to say we have new yogis joining us, so important that we stick with some of the cues, right? Inhale. On the exhale, let the right knee slide down the inside of the left shin. Remember, guys, this is not just about dropping your left hip to the ground. It's really a strengthening of your back muscles, believe it or not. Trace the right knee back up, left, and then left knee down inside of right shin. So real slowly, your left cheek will come up now, but your sacrum stays close to the earth. Let those legs go back and forth with thought and the idea of the strengthening of the back muscles and the feeding of our discs. Anybody with any sort of back discomforts, disc pathology, such a great way to nourish the discs. Add the arms to it now. Take the thumbs into the elbow creases as the legs go one way, the arms go the opposite way. So corkscrewing and uncorkscrewing, inhaling to center, legs to the left, arms to the right. Maybe you'll notice as you do more repetitions that tricep flesh might actually touch the floor as you find the rotation through that mid-thoracic. Keep moving, arms and legs. Let the head now move in the same direction as the legs. Inhale everything back to start. Head and legs to the right, arms to the left. Back to center. Keep that going. You have the eyeballs now. Eyeballs follow the elbows while the head follows the knees. Inhale back to center. Eyeballs, elbows, head, knees. Truly one of the best ways to get the whole energetics moving through these beautiful spines of ours. Last time, drop to the right. Yummy. Back to center. Let's go into Piriformis Sequence today with a few new added benefits. Take your right leg, cross it over your left. The outside ankle bone is past the knee for safety. Keep the toes of the right foot pulled towards the knee again for safety. Put your hands on the top of your pelvis. Be sure these two pelvic points or bikini bones are level and pointed to the sky, that your pelvis isn't skewed. Right hand onto the right knee, inhale, and on the exhale, push the right leg forward and start to open up the hip. So here's a new piece to it. Let's do the same thing we do in some of the other motions. It's a contract, relax. Inhale. On the exhale, push the right hand towards that right thigh, but push the right thigh back towards the hand now. I know you can feel the muscles contract. Hold it for about 8 seconds. And then when you release, look what happens. You can pry that hip open. Yeah, a little bit farther. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. On the exhale, push the hand to the knee and the knee back into the hand. The hip musculature will contract. Release. And push it open a little bit farther. Beautiful. Let's thread through now. Take the right hand through the hole in the legs. Grab the left hand behind the left knee. Keep the left knee soft. Let's go ahead and roll the low back up off the floor. So there's not anything really wrong with that unless you've got an active disc problem. I would encourage you to maybe be careful with this. We can flex our low back, but what we're really looking for in this is the opening of our hip. So here's the nuance. Press the back of the skull into the ground and put your sacrum back down on the ground. Feel what happens here. The low back finds its arch. If you keep your sacrum pressed towards the earth, draw the right knee closer towards the chest, and oh my goodness, it's a great stretch. Right hip rotators, our deep six group. Keep the shoulders down. Inhale. And on your exhale, take the left foot towards the sky, straighten out the left knee. Keep pressing your sacrum towards the earth. Your low back will stay in its neutral. Look up at the left foot and do your dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, toes to the sky, toes to the face. You can probably feel all the activity down the back of your calf, maybe your ankle snapping, lubricating it all. Keep the toes pulled towards the face, and let's slide the hands down the back of the left thigh now, so they're very close up to the groin. Push the back of the left hamstring flesh into your hands and your hip will soften. Keep the sacrum awareness pressed, low back is in its arch. If you can hold with your belly in your left quad, slip your hands out and take them up over your head. Reach to the back of the room. Pause here or keep your hand where it is if it feels like it's too much work. Beautiful. If you're holding your leg, release. Everybody put your left foot down on the earth. Heel is close to the buttock. Right hand presses that hip open. Let's do a single leg bridge. Palms are up. Inhale. Exhale. Push the sole of the left foot into the earth. Feel your back muscles inspire. Pull the imaginary egg or elevator up pelvic floor, tack down the belly, and lift the hips. Left foot's pressing the earth, so your left glute gets the message to fire. Send the message to the right glute as well, so the pelvis stays level. Don't let the right butt cheek sag. See if you can hold this for a breath or two or three. Powerful. Left foot presses. Push the outside of the right ankle into that left thigh, and that will also inspire the right hip to find its strength. Beautiful, guys. Slowly lower down now. Come to the bottom of the thoracic spine, the rib cage. Skip the low back, imprint the sacrum, and we're back to start position. Let's roll it now. Inhale. On the exhale, roll over onto your left side so the right foot goes onto the earth. You're on your side here to start with. Go ahead and grab the right shin with the left hand. Put your head down on a prop or on the earth. Underneath leg, most important cue here, crawl it to the back of the mat. We're trying to get our low back to be perpendicular to the earth. There you go. Maybe even take your hand and put it in the small of your back and see that it is perpendicular. Bend the left knee enough if you can grab your shin, beautiful, maybe your foot or your toes, and roll yourself onto your back. So what part of the back? Ribs up, that's what rotates. Low back stays perpendicular. You can do your micro adjustment for rotation, left elbow onto the earth, push into the earth with the elbow, rotate the chest, grab onto the ankle again, and then see if you can turn your gaze and look over the right shoulder. Yummy. Right hip is your screen door. Open and close the screen door. Lubricate the hip socket. Bring the hip back to rest now. Release the underneath leg, and you'll find yourself back on your back, right leg crossed where we began. Uncross the right, cross up the left, and let's match our bookends here. Check all the components. Back of the skull presses the ground, sacrum into the earth, arched low back. Level pelvis, left hand on the left thigh, inhale, and on the exhale, push it down towards the mat. Bottom of your mat. Yeah, starting to soften up. Let's do the contract relax now. Inhale, On the exhale, push the left hand towards the left thigh towards hand. The muscles in the left butt cheek will fire up. Release, and look what happens when you push. The hip opens a bit more, both the mobility of the joint and the release of the musculature. One more time. Inhale, exhale, push hand to knee, knee to hand, hold. Release. Thread through, left hand through, grabs the right hand behind. Let's start by rolling the low back off the ground, provided again you don't have an active back problem. Put the sacrum down, the low back arches. It's a whole different stretch now. Goes much deeper into the musculature, left hip. Draw the knee towards the chest. Straighten out the right leg now. Look up at your foot, pull the toes to the face and then to the sky. Find that synchronized swimmer foot, right? Feel all the fascia, the connective tissues, the tendons, the ligaments, everything getting a nice bath. Pull the toes to the face, slide the hands down the back of the right thigh. Push the back of the right hamstring flesh into the hands, soften the hip, release the back. Hold if you need to, if you can find the stability of your core in the back of that right thigh. Take the hands off the back of the leg and maybe take them up overhead. If you're holding release, everybody put your foot down, right foot down close to the right butt cheek. Inhale. On the exhale, right foot presses down. We pull up the egg, we tack down the fabric, and the hips come up. The pelvis pushes towards the sky. If you push the side of the left shin there into the right thigh, you'll see, okay, I can come up even a little bit higher. Activating both sets of glutes, your cheeks, to keep the hips extended. Beautiful. Slowly let it down through the spine. Come to the bottom of the cage, arch the back, push the sit or the sacrum into the ground. Now the best part, as we know, the rollover. Inhale, on your exhale, roll over onto your right side. Left foot goes down in the earth. Right hand holds the shin. Your head rests on a prop or on the ground. Underneath leg, most important cue, crawl it back. See that your low back is perpendicular. You'll bend that knee. See if you can grab your shin or your foot or the toes. And use that help to roll onto the ribs. Right elbow presses the earth. Lift the heart and rotate. See if you can maybe look over the left shoulder. Do your screen door, left leg, opening, closing that screen door. Good, bring it back to neutral. Roll back onto your back. Cross legs. Uncross the legs, let them down the mat. Stop for a moment here. Feel all that yumminess, all the warmth. I say we continue with our hamstrings. I had a whole thing planned for standing. Oh, we might get up, we might not. Let's see how this all goes. All right, take your strap on the bottom of your right foot. I should never plan anything because it just never happens. Straighten out your right leg. Your arms can be upright or the elbows can be down and you're holding onto the strap. Go ahead and towel off the bottom of the foot. From the metatarsals, the toes meeting the foot, all the way down to the heel. We warm up our acupressure points. Bring awareness to the bottom of the foot. Bring the strap to rest now on that metatarsal line. Pull the strap down, dorsiflex your ankle, feel that yummy stretch. Here's a new piece today, inhale. On your exhale, pick your head up and see if you can look towards the left knee. If this brings on pain in your leg, not just sensation, something you might want to look into. You should not have a zinger down your right leg when you do this, more just a stretch. See while your head's up, can you take that foot a little bit farther. This is flossing, again, of our nerves. This is sciatic nerve floss. Put your head back down again. Beautiful. Push your foot up and pull the strap down. The right quad will contract, and see if you can use that to stretch your hamstring. When the quad's contracting, the hammy soften. Straighten your left leg now. Left leg is powerful, Tadasana leg. So is right leg. They're just in different planes here. Hold position for a moment or two or three. Whatever you're holding, soften. Maybe think of the ball in the socket right hip moving down to the bottom of the mat. Let's give our inside hamstring an amazing stretch. So put the strap into the right hand. Keep the hip flexion angle the same. Inhale. And on the exhale, the leg is going to go out to the right side. Almost all of us, our leg will not touch the ground. If you have just let your leg go to the ground, bring it back up and keep your hip at this 90-degree point. I'm using two hands now at the suggestion of Jill. Right hand on the strap, left hand on the strap. A lot more leverage. Look over the toes of the right foot. They're spun towards the top of your mat, and the inside ankle bone is towards the sky. Let's really work on the softening of our hamstrings here. The battle is over. It's more, okay, let's soften into this, and I can find this amazing stretch. Yes. Inhale the leg to straight leg raise. Pass the strap into the left hand, and just 45 degrees across your body line, you get the outside hamstring to stretch. Maybe left elbow on the ground for leverage. Take the right hand thumb into the hip crease, push the hip towards the bottom of the mat, reset the joint alignment, and you'll feel the stretch even more, hopefully on the outside of that leg. In a moment, we're going to roll over. We just did something very similar in our Piriformis sequence, so maybe you can feel the benefits. Take this right leg into straight leg raise, bend the left knee onto the ground, inhale, exhale, bridge up just enough to clear the pelvis and roll over onto the left side. See how familiar this is? Our legs were just in a different position. Put your head down on the ground again or onto a prop. The big toe of your right foot is on the ground. The strap is in the left hand. Use that to stretch your hamstring. Let's add the quad stretch now like we did just a moment ago. Crawl the leg to the back of the mat. Sounds familiar. Bend the knee, grab the shin, and it's the same movement except the legs are in a different place. See if you can use your smarts here to roll through that thoracic spine. Quad stretch left, hammy stretch right. Unwinding of our spines. Release the left leg. If you're holding it, roll back onto your back. And let's do 3 really concentrated long breaths in this straight leg raised position and teach our hamstrings who the boss is. And find that, beautiful open hamstring feel. It's sensational, not painful. Let's add one more time the sciatic stretch. Pull the toes to the face. With the strap, inhale, and on the exhale, lift your head and see how high you can get your nose to your knee. Beautiful, yogis. Put your head back down, bend the knee. Take the strap off, put it down on the left side of the body. Oh my goodness, look what we can do for ourselves. I feel like my right side is soft and my left side is heavy and dense. Let's match lefty to righty now. Bend your knees. Strap bottom of the left foot. Straighten out the leg. Towel off the bottom of the foot so the ankle doesn't move side to side, inverting and everting. It stays in neutral. And we find the warmth from the strap stimulating all that wonderful acupressure points. Have the strap come to rest on the metatarsals. Pull the strap down, push the foot up. Left quad will contract, hammy gets the message, soften. Look what we can do. We can take that leg up. Reminding you again, it's not about taking the leg up and the whole pelvis coming up. Instead, push your sacrum down again, just like we did in the piriformis number, and find the stretch of your hamstrings. Sacrum pressing down keeps stability in our low backs. Hopefully you can feel all of that. Straighten your right leg now, long right leg. Play around with lefty coming up or righty holds the fort. A good contraction, Tadasana leg to find stability. Guide or glide or both that left leg up. Switch the strap to the left hand now. Remember, don't change the hip angle. It's just going to abduct. It's not going to flex or extend. We're going to let it down. Maybe hold it with two hands. Left hand, right hand. Look at the toes of the left foot. Spin them to the back of the room. Inside ankle bone to the sky. And slowly pull it back. I hope you are getting half the stretch that I'm getting. It just feels really deep today, nice and slow and purposeful. Let's hang out here for a moment, releasing into that sensation. Inhale the left leg up, straight leg raise. Switch the strap to the right hand, take it across town, 45 degrees. Left hand, L shape, top of left thigh, push it down. Feel with that congruency in the joint, the hamstring will soften. Doesn't have to hold the joint in place. Inhale the left leg to straight leg raise. Let's do our sciatic floss. Look up at the toes. Pull them towards the face with the strap and maybe even some of your muscle activity. Inhale. And on the exhale, pick your head up off the ground. If you get a shooting pain into your buttock or down your leg, definitely back off. Get that looked into. That's a sciatic nerve. Owie. Put your head back down again. Let's roll it. Bend the right knee. Inhale. Exhale. Bridge up enough just to clear the pelvis. Roll over onto the right side. Big toe left foot onto the ground. Head rests on the earth or on the prop. Underneath leg, so familiar to us now, crawls to the back. Bend the knee, grab the shin, the foot, the toes, and do what you need to do to roll yourself onto your back. You can use that right elbow press and roll. Elbow press and roll. Release the leg if you're holding it. Back onto your back. Do your 3 long, deep exhalations. And with each exhalation, give the hamstring the permission to soften in the back, the sit bone, all the way to below your knee. One more sciatic floss. Inhale, and on your exhale, toes pull to the face. Lift your head and see if you can touch your knee with your nose. Put the head back down again. And the knee. Slide the strap off. Luxuriate for a breath. All that beautiful work. Let's do our open book chalk trace with the core components that we've added now. So start on your right side. Again, have your head resting on a prop or the ground. Hips, knees, and ankles 90 degrees. Your palms are touching. Inhale. On the exhale, trace the left hand up the forearm, onto the bicep, onto the chest. The left elbow lifts. We were just here. Roll through your rib cage. Maybe you can feel again, my goodness, this is so much more open and aware because we've done it several times in different positions with our legs. Open that left hand now and look at your left hand. Pause for a moment. Knees stay glued together. Again, the perpendicularity of our low back. Inhale the left hand up. Grab the cloud off the sky. Imprint it onto your palm and slide it forward. It's protracting the left shoulder blade, trying to move your heart towards the ground. Let's go through that one more time, just as we did. Inhale, exhale, trace your hand up your forearm, bicep, chest, elbow lifts. Oh yeah, roll right through it and open the arm, wherever you're at with this pause. Inhale the hand up, imprint it onto the palm, slide it through. Inhale, exhale, slide your hand up, bicep, chest, and rest now your hand on your heart. Let's roll over using our core. Inhale, on the exhale, pull your core in, use your obliques to bring your legs up to center, and then the arm will come through to complete the pose. Slide the right hand through, protract the shoulder blade. Inhale it back, hands on the heart, elbows up, pull your belly in and use your obliques to bring your legs and your torso around with you. We find ourselves protracting the left shoulder. We'll do the same again. Inhale, exhale, roll through. Hand to the heart, elbow up. Use the core to roll it over. Palm to palm and slide it through. Come palm to palm. And this time, inhale, and on your exhale, do a chalk trace with that right hand and take it up and over. So right into chalk trace after open book and core work. Beautiful. Bring it around again. Match the hands. Inhale, exhale, roll through, knees up. Use your core. Roll yourself over onto your side. Inhale, exhale, here we go again. Up, lift the legs, core, arms. They match. Inhale, on the exhale. Take your right hand up now, but pause at the top and straighten out your right leg. So now, the right leg is Tadasana. The right palm on the ground. See if you can spin your heart to the sky. Look at that beautiful opening, right? Beautiful. Draw the limbs back together again. Inhale. On the exhale, slide the hand through. Elbow roll over onto the right side where we started. That's the right side. Let's switch and do the left side now. So just turn yourself this way or other side of the mat and start on the left side. So it'll be somewhat of the same repetition, but starting different side. Inhale. Exhale, slide the right hand through. We'll do the same thing we did, just opposite side. Lift the elbow. Find the grace and elegance. Can you feel the warmth in your body now? Beautiful. Ground down. Open the hand. Pause for a moment. Inhale back up. Grab the cloud off the sky. Imprint it onto your palm. Slide it through to protract the blade. Inhale. Exhale. Draw it through. Find all those cobwebs that have been destroyed. Inhale the hand back up, grab the cloud, print and press. Let's add the core now. Inhale, exhale, roll the hand through, come to rest for a moment, elbow up. Ignite the core, the obliques, bring the legs over, the arms will come over. We land back onto the ground. The left palm will slide through. Inhale, exhale, left hand comes through. Pick the legs up, use your core, roll through. Hand to palm, slide it through. Palm to palm again, go into your chalk trace. Inhale. On the exhale, take the right hand, this time up over the head. Find that big trace. Bring it back around. Inhale, exhale, roll through, lift the legs and come around. Inhale, exhale, roll through. Beautiful. Straighten out the arm overhead. Come through and back to start. Inhale, exhale, roll over. Inhale, exhale, bring it around. And add both arm and leg. Back to center. Roll back under your back, so warm right into bridge. Set up for success. Middle fingers touch the heels. Turn the palms up. Inhale. Exhale. Push the feet into the earth. Pull the egg up. Tack down the belly. Lift the hips. See if you can find the long line from your knees to your pelvis. Take your hands underneath your back. Interlace your fingers. Do your shimmy shoulders right and left. Reminding you the bridge now comes from the opening of the upper back, no more from the low back. Inhale, exhale, bend the elbows, push the elbows into the earth. Look down at your heart. The heart opens from the doming of the chest. Straighten out the arms, now touch the sky. Inhale, exhale, take them up over your head. Reach to the back of the room. Push the feet down, pull the egg up, find all that stability. Inhale the arms up, exhale, elbows down, and slowly lower. Remember, come to the bottom of the rib cage, keep the low back arched, imprint the sacrum. Soles of the feet together, Baddha Konasana legs. Do your pinwheel legs side to side. Bring the legs back to neutral. Take your hands outside of the legs, move them together. Roll over onto your right side. We are going to stand. Come stand up for a moment. Let's find Tadasana, the mountain pose. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Modify, customize for the shape of your own legs. Lift your toes and put them down on the earth. The big toe knuckle, fifth toe knuckle, and the heel, tripod of the foot, press those into the earth. My favorite cue, the lateral side of the foot here has a bone called the cuboid. If you push the cuboid bones into the earth, the arches inspire. We find our connection to the earth. We're connected to the earth, but we're also rising up. We're not thumbtacked down, but we're stable and rooted. Find your quadriceps, a light contraction. Take the fingers onto the tops of the thighs, not the pelvis, but the thighs. And notice as you push your thighs back, the low back will arch. We want that. Push the tailbone straight down to the earth. So we descend it, we don't tuck it, and all that deep musculature inspires. Squeeze the glutes with maybe 20% of your power, don't overdo it. Don't squeeze them so much that you feel your hips externally rotating, but they're staying in neutral. Beautiful. Take your hands back behind you now. Presentation arms. Little fingers touch the thighs. Palms touch the thighs. Move the middle fingers down to the ground like you're rooting down with the arms now, but again, the crown of the head going to the heavens. We're not marble statues. You can waver and wobble about, but you're stable in your base. Inhale your arms up, take them up. Turn the palms to the sky, push up, pull the low ribs in, back bend the upper back. Release the arms down. Let's do our eagle arm sequence in standing today. It'll shift it a little bit. Take your right arm over your left, fingers together. If possible, modify as need be. You can bend your knees on this. If you want to get really fancy, you can take your left leg around the right leg and either foot behind calf or just keep it on the outside. And let's add the arms. I'm just going to stand with my legs on the earth here. Inhale. On the exhale, take the right into the left and draw it forward. So you're protracting those shoulder blades. Inhale it back to center. Exhale, pinch the blades together now, like you're pinching a pencil between those shoulder blades. Inhale back to center, and on the exhale, turn the arms to the right. So just the arms turn. Big stretch of the back of the left shoulder, and then look over the right shoulder. Inhale it all back to center, and exhale to the left. And the head. Inhale it all back to center and drop the elbows now, just the elbows. So we get a stretch of the back of the rotator cuff and lower traps. Flex now. We'll go ahead and flex the upper back and the chin. And let's add, since we're standing today, a little bit of forward bend. So start to round the whole spine. Inhale it back up again. Find your stable legs. Pull the low ribs in and take the elbows up. Move it up behind the heart. Push the heart towards the sky as the elbows go up. And then maybe let the head release back. We're still containing our low ribs so you're not coming in from your low back. Oh my goodness, feels so good. Come back to neutral and release the arms down. How about we do the other side? Take lefty on top, now righty on bottom. Wide legs, close legs, opposite cross legs. So if left is on top, your right leg will come behind for your eagle cross. Inhale. On the exhale, take the elbows forward. Pull back. Inhale, exhale, pull them back. Pinch the pencil between. Maybe a little mobilization of that thoracic spine. Come back to neutral. Inhale, and on the exhale, right with the arms. And then turn the gaze. Inhale back to center, left with the arms. And turn the gaze. Back to center. Inhale. Exhale, drop the elbows. Ribs, belly button. Start to round the upper back. Let the head release. Round through and see if maybe the crown of your head can go towards the ground. Inhale back up. Exhale, ribs in, please. Elbows up. Take the elbows up. Bring it up behind the heart. Push the elbows up and maybe let the head release back. Oof. Arms back to neutral. Release the hands. Grab your blocks. Let's do our Pez candy dispensers. Put the block high up into the groin. Stand in Tadasana. That's why I love to remind you of Tadasana. It all starts with Tadasana, feet into the earth. Remember, we use our blocks to find our core, quarter, half, three-quarter range of motion. Let's use the hands today to find what's going on with the pelvis too. Press the feet into the earth. Let's back bend first. Inhale. On the exhale, feet press. Squeeze the block. Push the candy forward. And tilt your pelvis back. Posteriorly tilt and just your low back action here. Maybe pull the elbows in a little bit and feel the stability there. 1/4 of your available range. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze the block. Anteriorly tilt the pelvis, flex the hips, and push the block back behind you. And it feels like we want to bend forward, just 1/4 of the range. So nothing's rounded in my upper back, a nice long back. Inhale. On your exhale, squeeze the block, push it forward, posteriorly tilt the pelvis, pull the elbows in, push the pelvis forward, and this time come up bottom of the rib cage. So extend into that lower thoracic spine. Your neck is still in neutral. Pause for a moment. Inhale. Exhale, come on forward. Squeeze the block, anteriorly tilt the pelvis, flex the hips, arch in the back. Bring it up, rib cage. So maybe you'll be parallel to the earth with your heart. Neck, long, crown of the head, top of your mat. Inhale. Exhale, push the feet to the earth. Feel the stability with the foot press, right? Squeeze the block, take it forward. Posteriorly tilt the pelvis. Bring it up, low back, middle back, and upper back. We've prepped you. We just did that. Eagle arms, push your heart to the sky. Your neck is still soft. 3/4 of our back bend movement. Yummy. Inhale forward. Exhale, squeeze the block. Anteriorly tilt the pelvis. Take your block back behind you. Float through this. We've warmed our hamstrings up. We've warmed our back up. Hopefully you can feel all the work you've done. Crown of the head to the earth. And maybe your hands will be on your shins here. Lengthen out. Are you standing on your toes or is there weight on your heels as well? Try to evenly balance it. Can you take your toes off the floor? Pause here for a moment, reaching the top of your head to the top of your mat. That's beautiful. For safety, let's put our thumbs back into the hip creases. Inhale, and on the exhale, push into the hip creases to rise back up. And let's find the full expression now. Hands onto the pelvis. Posteriorly tilt the pelvis. Keep the elbows in. Bring it up. Legs, low back, middle back, upper back, and then let your head potentially release back. Inhale to neutral. Exhale, tilt the pelvis, flex the hips, find your stable legs. We did this at the beginning, right? The pelvis came up off the earth when we came through our forward bend, and here it is again, rocking through, and our hamstrings have been prepped. See if maybe you can move your belly, chest closer to your thighs, the crown of your head to the earth, and then release the hands. They may stay on the shins, on your feet, on some blocks, or maybe onto the earth. If your hands are on the earth or blocks out in front of you, see if you can match the weight in your hands to the weight in your feet. So you've got equal pressure releasing. Yeah, let the crown of the head release now. Shake the head yes and no. See if you can move the fluids through you here now. Lubricate all the tissues. And as you're hanging in your forward bend here, soften. Wherever you're holding, soften. And look what that awareness of where we hold and soften can do for your pose. Wherever you are, hang out in your extremes for a breath or two or three. Bend the knees, put the thumbs into the hip creases, draw yourself back up real slowly, release the block, put it back down to the floor. Let's move into our yogic squat. Take your feet hip distance apart or so. You can have your feet slightly turned out if you'd like to. Try to keep them parallel to begin as we lower down towards the earth. If your heels come up, maybe put a blanket underneath or turn the toes out slightly. That'll probably help. Take your elbows inside your thighs now, or your knees, and put your thumbs onto your heart. Inhale. On the exhale, squeeze the knees in and push the elbows out towards the knees, and your low back will decompress. You get a beautiful sacroiliac joint lubrication. Release. Inhale. Exhale, repeat. Push the elbows out, push the knees in. Thumbs stay on the heart, or the heart stays wide open, thoracic spine, decompressing the back. Release. For those of you who do Mobilisation or forearm balance, come with me. If not, just repeat this, pushing and releasing to release the back. Mobilisationites come forward, hands onto the ground. They're basically down dog hands. As soon as your hands touch the ground, bring all the energy up in the shoulders, hold the stability in your shoulders, and come onto the balls of the feet. Pull in your core, find that core stability, push the elbows to the legs and the legs to the elbows, and if you can, take your feet off the ground so you can balance in your forearm balance position. Finding the breath. Release the feet back to the earth. One last decompression. Knees in, elbows out. Release. Take your hands back behind you. Have a seat. Let's work our core on the way down. Feet on the earth. Hands in front of the knees. Big open heart. Like you're sitting back in a lounge chair. The idea is when your hands come off your knees, something has to hold. It's your core. So right now, your hands are helping to hold. Notice as you shift your hands to behind your knees, the whole thing changes. We've got to support ourselves. Have yourself on your heels now and lean back even a bit farther. Keep the heart nice and open. Your neck is in neutral. We're cruising. Take the right leg up. Take the left leg up. Spread the toes. If you can, without losing the balance, take the hands off the backs of the legs, shine them out. Knees will come together and perhaps they'll straighten out, offer up this beautiful position. You can start moving the arms if you'd like to. That's just making it a little bit more difficult to hold. So you figure out what's good for you. Hands back to the knees, big open heart. Waiting for dinner, take your hands out in front. We'll lower to a count of 15 to the mat. Pull the belly in. Try not to drop over the ledge. You count yourself 15. I'll meet you down on the earth. Uncoiling. Using the decelerating muscles, to lower us to the earth. Draw the knees to the chest. Take the arms around the shins. Maybe left hand over right wrist. Move the knees in close to the rib cage. Roll your low back off the floor. Inhale. Exhale, move your nose between your knees. Put your head back down on the ground. Push the back of the skull into the earth. Feel Jalandhara Bandha, it's our throat bind. One hand to each knee now. Imprint your sacrum. So the low back is not flattened to the earth. We're imprinting the sacrum and the low back comes off the ground. That's the curve we want to preserve. And then start to move your legs. There, of course, will be a little bit of movement attached to the pelvis, but the idea here is we're not moving everything around with our sacrum held to the earth. It's really just in the knees and the hips. Good. Let's do in to out now. See if you can find that. Here's another beautiful decompression for our backs. Hands on the knees. Imprint the sacrum. Inhale. And on the exhale, isometric, meaning no movement, push your knees up into your hands and your hands down into your knees. Can you feel how that pushes your sacrum even further into the ground? It decompresses the heck out of your back. Slowly ramp off of that. The low back will soften a bit towards the ground, not to flatten. Let's do it one more time. Inhale. Exhale, push the knees up, pull the hands down, decompress that low back. And release. Take your legs long, yogis. Take your arms up over your head. Feels like today I could have gone for 3 hours easily. Who knows, maybe we'll do one of those someday. Pause for a moment here, arms up over your head. The warmth in our bodies. I don't know about you, but the calmness of my mind now, everything else that I was thinking about is taking a back burner. That's what our yoga practice inspires. So beautiful. Bring your hands back to your sides. Grab the mat with your fists. Inhale. And on the exhale, push your hands down towards your feet. Slink up the mat an inch or two. And find yourself in Shavasana. Cover your eyes with an eye bag. Maybe if you have a shirt handy, something to block out the light. Stimulate the acupressure points around our eyes. Feel yourself on the earth, in your safe space. Listen for the most distant sound you can find. So wherever you are, we're all in different places. Go out as far as you can, maybe to the state border. So whatever state you're in, what's happening on the other side of the state? What can you hear? And then what can you hear in your own city or town right now? Maybe there's some horns, maybe there's a fire truck, maybe there's birds, whatever it is. What's happening in your town? And what's happening right outside the house or the building that you're in? What do you hear? What do you hear inside your space now? And what do you hear inside yourself? Beauty of our practice, the ability for us to sink in and allow everything else to dissipate, bringing our focus back to what's important, and keeping us alive and healthy and vibrant. Let yourself drift out for a minute or so. enjoy your float. We are new again after our practice, revived and calmed at the same time. Resetting our priorities, being grateful for this life. Find the marble on the back of your skull, let your head rock side to side ever so slowly. Maybe reluctantly coming back to the room, wiggling your fingers and your toes. Bend your knees, glue your knees and ankles together, roll over onto your right side away from your heart. Pause there in that transition position. An amazing time when often we are filled with thoughts of generosity, of kindness, of altruism and seva, selfless service, compassion and empathy, humanness, authenticity. We're reminded again always of Loka Samasta, Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and to that freedom for all. We are connected, yogis. Inhale, and on your exhale, come sit up. So grateful for our community. Staying together, even though these times are so trying. We still have each other's hearts. I feel it. Hands to the earth. Inhale. On your exhale, float up. Thumbs to heart, heart to thumbs. We rise. We pause here, reminding ourselves to be so grateful for all we have. Inhale. Exhale, hands float forward, slowly, fingertips touch, fingernails touch, hands open like a lotus. Draw the sweetness into your heart centers, backs of the hands, roll thumbs to heart. Take your thumbs to your third eye between your eyebrows. It's a still contemplation point, all-seeing eye. It's an ESP eye. It's our clarity spot. Let's bow to each other today. Namaste. Time flies when I'm having so much fun with you guys. I hope you enjoyed the practice today. Be back again next Sunday. You can join me on Tuesday and Thursday mornings via Yoga Works if you like at 7:30 in the morning California time or Pacific time. Otherwise,